to another episode of... Alright.
Peaks and valleys.
No, I don't say it, Jared.
These are autistic here.
Autism's kicking in.
Alright.
It's way too early.
Bloopers.
There's no such thing as a blooper. Unless you're in the WNBA. Speaking of, the ratings are going to drop for the next 2 weeks. This just in. The ratings have dropped for the WNBA, for the next 2 weeks. And that is a fact. Before they even happen. Caitlin Clark's out for the next 2 weeks.
You don't keep up with the WNBA, now you know.
Alright. Alright,
Unless you're watching. Kelsey Plum. You could watch for Kelsey Plum, but you might be a pervert then.
Jesus.
Right. JJ, edit that in.
Yeah, please, at the end. Alright. Hi, I'm your host, Evan Roderman. Jesus Christ.
We should just not edit anything. Just don't edit anything.
Oh, man.
Keep it cool.
Every time I want to talk, I'm just waiting.
Alright.
Alright.
See? I'm your host, Evan Roderman. Jesus Christ. Fuck, Jared.
Just waiting.
Get it out. All your giggles.
You know what? If you watched the last 2 episodes, you know who we are.
Yeah. We'll go around the table.
Isaac.
Dilfrent.
Moose.
And I'm your host, Evan Roderman. Today we're going to start with the NBA playoffs. Right now we're in the conference finals. Last episode we gave our predictions for the finals, but we're going to give our predictions on how these conference finals are going to go right now. So Isaac, who do you got coming out of the East?
You know, I still got the Knicks coming out of the East. The way that they came back the most in any playoff history of 20-point comebacks, kind of, you know, Dilfrent.
Dilfrent.
One might say.
By design,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little bit different. So honestly, I can see them still pulling it off. Indiana does have a chip on their shoulder with the Colts owner Jim Irsay just dying, so they kind of have something to, you know, fight for, I guess. But you know, still got the Knicks.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm gonna go the Pacers all the way here. We got the Halliban going crazy, taking down the towers. So watch out, Knicks.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. Wow. Alright. Well, I'm going to tell you this. I don't know what Jim Irsay has to do with the Knicks. That's like saying, you know, my afternoon shave has something to do with my walk in the toilet later on. You know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
I didn't say the Knicks. I said the Pacers.
Yeah, Knicks and Pacers, what I'm saying.
Okay.
It don't make any sense. All right, the Colts, you think anybody's walking on the floor? Tyrese Halliburton's walking on the floor saying, you know what? We got to win this shit for Jim Irsay?
Hey, the way he was on the McAfee show, I don't know.
Get out of here.
Come on now.
Get out of here. I mean, there is more so a reason for him to walk out there and say, you know what, I'm doing this for the WWE match I lost against Jalen Brunson. Come on, dog.
There you go. Okay, that's fair.
Did
I
they
like
fight in the WWE?
Oh, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Halliburton versus Brunson?
Yeah, but there's a 2-on-2.
Dude, they script wrote that shit.
That was
It's
great.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
3 weeks before, too.
You're talking about
Yeah, we're talking
NBA being rigged.
That's it right
All right,
there.
Talk about the ultimate rigging show. They're like, hey, if you like this script, here, borrow it.
Yeah, Moose hates the idea of this being rigged, but it's true.
We'll talk about that.
All right, so who do you have, Jared?
I got the Pacers in that series, and I think it's going to go probably 6 or 7 games.
6 or 7 games. All right. Well, I'm taking the Knicks still, even though they're down 2-1, and Indiana's got the next couple games there.
What's your reasoning?
Why?
Yeah.
You can't count them out. The first game they had until that fluke shot that just bounced in luckily by Halliburton.
Dude, all
And in
right.
game 2,
Clutch, man.
they got into foul trouble, and Cat only played, I think, 26 minutes, less than 30. They usually play 40 minutes a game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but Destiny. Think about Destiny here.
Destiny?
Yeah,
What
if
does
you
she have
watch
to do with anything?
if you watch the last few minutes of that game 1, They were already coming back because they were making every single three in the last.
You're
3
talking
games.
about the greatest 3-point shooting ever in an NBA playoff game?
I'm talking exactly, and I'm talking about the
Nets
league leaders in playoff 3-point percentage. They are on fire.
So how do you explain the 20-point comeback that the Knicks had in Game 3? Was that just a fluke?
And yeah, absolutely.
They've done it the most times in any
Yeah,
playoff.
They did it against the Boston Celtics.
They
who
were
are the number
due.
one seed.
They were due. You
Three
can't.
times?
Right? Yeah.
Three times
against
that
Three
series?
times.
They were due. They were due.
They were due?
They were due.
They were due.
3 times.
For a 20-point comeback.
Yeah.
They were due for a 20-point comeback, and now they're down. They're still
Okay.
down 2-1.
All right.
It's only 2-1.
They're still down 2-1.
I'll just say because of those 20
And after
points-
Tuesday,
oh,
they're
Lord.
down 3-1.
3-1 now.
Yeah.
All
Guess
right.
we'll see.
All right, bet.
It's
We'll
happening.
see. Okay. So that's the East. Now the West.
They're just too deep. They have Nimbard. They
The
got.
Pacers are too deep.
They got Nimbard. They got Halliburton. They got Miles Turner. They have Siakam. They got.
Are you just naming the roster, or these guys you
Yeah.
actually think? I mean,
I think they're the deepest team left in the playoffs. Absolutely.
OKC's not?
the
Yeah,
deepest
okay,
team.
No,
so-
OKC is dumb.
The
and
Thunder
bloated.
would be the deepest team.
Talent-wise at the top, yeah, but they're not as deep. They're
No,
not as deep.
completely
And
deep.
Caruso coming off the bench.
Caruso.
That's
You
what
just
I said.
named Neesmith.
Caruso.
Yeah, you need that white
Caruso is a
boy.
difference maker.
We need a white boy.
Get out of
man.
here. The only thing Caruso's good for is advertising bald white men in Bosley.
You're getting there, brother.
Possibly.
Oh man.
Take off the hat, Jared.
What do you mean? I got plenty of hair.
All day.
We got
Not
damn
even
near
30.
The same hairline here.
That's what happens when you're a Redskins fan. You stress too much.
Been stressing over the name for the last 10 years.
So you're gonna say OKC, right?
I am gonna say
Okay.
OKC for the West, cause I mean I think it's gonna be a great series, and Ant just looks very hit or miss
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Mhm.
He's either like really good like he was in the last game where he dropped, what is it, like 18 to,
Well, he had
They're
15 in the
16?
first quarter, I think.
yeah, he outscored OKC in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, they went up so much it didn't really matter.
Right.
And OKC is the only team in NBA history to win a playoff game by 50 points and lose a playoff game by 40 points in the same.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm going the same place with OKC on this one.
Yeah.
I think if you watch the Wolves in the series before this against the Warriors, Steph Curry's in there. I think the Warriors take that not pretty easily, but in 7 games. So
Mhm.
if Warriors could have taken them out, I think the OKC can easily do it.
Okay.
I think all the logic, besides one stat line that says more experienced teams go to the finals, I think all the logic is in OKC's favor. They are the deeper team. They have more top front talent as well, I think. But Minnesota, on the other hand, I think that Julius Randle, that trade's looked really good for him. Julius Randle's been balling. And then the other thing is, you have Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony Edwards has a Jordan-esque to him.
There it is.
The illegitimate son of MJ.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So down 2-1. Give me some fun. Let's go get some. All right. Ant Edwards in 7. Let's go.
Put that on a poster.
T-Wolves.
Okay.
Poster it.
I like where you're going with that, Jared. I'm actually going to take Minnesota as well. What was it, the previous series? You talked about Timberwolves having issues with the Warriors. I mean, that's an experienced playoff team.
Yeah.
They're
That's
definitely
fair.
not the same tier as we've previously seen them. But then I look at OKC against the Nuggets. That was a flip-flop of who was going to win. It was either super hot or not.
I mean, you have 2 MVPs in that conversation, though.
I get it, but I mean, you could argue that Ant's an MVP too.
Mm.
He was what, second most points scored this season, only behind Shai
He
Gilgeous-Alexander.
was in the conversation, and I'll say this. I don't think Anthony Edwards is really that type of player to really care about MVP awards or anything. He already said he doesn't want to be the face of the league, which is inevitably going to happen when he wins a championship, if not this year. And again, what Evan said, they're the more experienced playoff team, and the statistics show that you need at least 2 years of playoff experience before you get to the finals. That's been in the last decade. Or maybe even longer. I forget the number there, but yeah, that works in the Timberwolves' favor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Timberwolves in 6. I think they're gonna catch some momentum and just run it.
Now, you think if Bo Cruz was on the other side, he'd be saying the same thing? No.
I bet you Adam Sandler's wearing an Edwards shirt this year.
Yeah. Alrighty, so with those 2 picks for each of us, who is your finals champion?
I would honestly go with OKC. I just think that they're the most well-rounded team left in the playoffs right now. Out of all of them, if I had to go with my pick saying OKC and the Knicks, I think OKC takes it.
Okay. Alright.
I'm going to go the same thing with OKC winning it all. I think they've had so many picks over the last few years. They finally got this really young offense. I really hope the Pacers win, to be honest, because I hate OKC, but I'm going to go OKC.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm going to go with Minnesota here
To win the whole thing?
to win the whole
Wow.
thing.
Damn.
Okay.
There we go.
If I have one in the West, it makes sense for them to win the finals, because I think whoever inevitably wins the West probably does win the finals in either one of those teams. So I'm gonna take Minnesota here. The Pacers are hot, so that could happen. We'll
Okay.
see.
I still gotta run with the Knicks. Honestly. I think
That's
OKC's
a home pick for
That's
you.
a home pick, but at the same time, I'm looking at what's available left, right? They match up defensively great with both of those teams. Okay?
They haven't shown it the first 2 games at least.
They had those games, and it's just a freak accidents happened, honestly.
Freak accidents, huh?
Freak accident. Huh?
Halliburton's weird toe on the line 3 at the end of the game, which was a 2.
Should have been a buzzer
Hey,
beater.
we'll talk about a whole
Almost.
20-point comeback too.
Yeah, hey, you can't count them out. They can be down by 20 and still find a way.
Well, apparently so can the Pacers with the foot on the line.
The big difference, I think, is that the 20-point comeback was from the first half for the Knicks, second half for the Pacers. So, a lot more at stake for the Pacers in the second half.
That's fair.
Well, I think also the Pacers could have gotten very comfortable with the 2-0 lead. They're up 20, and maybe it's like, you let the foot off the gas. So I don't see that happening again.
So then what switched your mind with the Timberwolves? I mean, they were down 2 games and they just obliterated
Yeah,
them.
but they weren't down 20 in that third game.
So being down 20, that's the difference.
I think so. The look of it. The Timberwolves didn't come out there and say, yeah, we're going to play fucking games with them. They said,
Didn't
we're going
they
to come
lose
out
by
there
20?
and we're going to stomp your motherfucking ass. Because it was 143 to 101, motherfucker.
All right.
Motherfucker.
Didn't they lose by 20 in one of the games?
The Timberwolves?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty sure game
sure they
one.
did, but that's game one. I mean,
That's
game one is you get the hall pass for game one.
Oh,
They lost by 26. And then the next game they lost by 15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's a combined 41 points.
Yeah, but
and
what did
yeah,
they do last
won.
game?
Yeah, they won by 42 to add up the
There
point
you go.
differential. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, there we go.
All right. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to find out. Next, we got the NBA draft. Miraculously, somehow, the Dallas Mavericks, with a 2.6 chance of getting the first pick in the draft, landed it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that feels to be a Mavericks fan, seeing that happen after that horrible trade?
Well, I'm sure they're happy about it. I mean, at this point, you just lost Luka, but you just got Cooper Flag coming to you. You still got Kyrie Irving,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis,
Mm-hmm.
your boy Clay.
Yeah, I love Clay, but he's washed.
He's not the same
He's
Clay.
washed.
It's not the same, but I mean, the guy can still shoot. You put him in open space, he's gonna make it 3.
This Clay's kind of dried out to become a brick.
Good job. Good
you know, I
job.
think that the funny thing here is, watching Dallas Mavericks fans on Twitter going from, oh my God, we just traded Luka, our heart and soul, and saying, I'm not going to be interested in basketball for the next 10 years, and then all of a sudden, boom, all right, let's go Mavs.
Yeah.
I think that's funny, man.
Oh, this is the word that Moose hates, but rigged? Yeah.
It has to be.
Has to be rigged. I mean, you trade away your best player to the Lakers for a bag of chips, and then suddenly you get the first overall pick with that little of a chance.
All right, now if it's rigged, let's talk about this again.
No, so let's acknowledge that point though.
Yeah.
Whenever Anthony Davis got traded to the Lakers, they got Zion Williamson.
Okay.
Whenever LeBron left Cleveland to come to Miami, the Cavaliers got Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, they sucked. So they had good odds of that.
They have to keep compensating these other
They had
teams.
great odds of that. The Cavs sucked after LeBron
Yeah,
left.
they had great
Okay.
odds, but I mean, so did the Pelicans.
Yeah, exactly. You're proving my point here.
You are
But I'm
proving
just
his
saying,
point
I mean, I get it, but it just so happens that everywhere LeBron gets somebody from or leaves or
Can
something.
you
like
at
that,
least acknowledge that's kind of weird?
just a weird-
It is a
it is
great
a weird-
coincidence, but the world is full of those,
There's
man.
no such thing as coincidence.
I got on a plane and saw my buddy's fiance going to a destination that was out of the state.
Whoa.
But
You
how
might wanna
did
check
that
on that
happen to you?
relationship.
How many
Were y'all-
times did that happen to
Were y'all
you?
in Houston when this happened?
Yes.
Pretty great odds of that.
Yeah, oh, crazy. Wait, one of two airports? Holy shit.
Get out of here. I saw a good friend of mine in Disney World.
Great odds of that. A lot of people go there. I saw a friend of mine in New York.
Wow.
Okay, there you go. Anyways, my whole point is the world's full of coincidences. Doesn't make that rigged, does it?
No, but you know what's not great odds? 2.6
2.6 was 1.8 for the Mavs.
was even
That's
less.
even
Holy
less.
shit, even
Oh
less.
my gosh.
I gotta make sure it's right, all right, you folks. Now let me tell you this, as somebody who plays a lot of damn cards, a lot of cards, 1.8, if you play poker, you know that 1.8's winning a lot of times. The people who thinks that is 1.8 to 0, you never played poker.
Well, you know, a fun fact about cards is if you shuffle cards, it's a chance that it's never been shuffled that way ever. Fun fact.
Probably 1.8 chance.
1.8. 0.0000.
All right, Jared. So you're saying it's not rigged. Was that it as far as your tangent?
Damn,
Yeah.
now I gotta find all my
It's up his
cards.
sleeve, man.
Now I gotta find all my cards.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I'm saying, let's look at the ration, right? They were not even out of the playoffs. They got to the bubble even after all this. They had to have a half-court shot from Diddy Giddy to go in to even get that slot. Like, come on, man. You can't rig that. You can't rig that.
Yeah, you can't rig that part, but you can rig the lottery pick itself.
But they
That's
didn't even
more
know
so
they
what
would
we're
be in the lottery.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But
that's
when
not
it
what we're
got
talking
chalked
about.
up to that, then it happened. I mean, it's weird.
Well, maybe. But we'll see.
All right.
We won't see, but
Yeah.
Well, in time, maybe. Adam Silver, we're watching you.
Adam Silver or Adam Bronze? Am I right, guys?
All right. So
Knee slapper.
with that, the NBA draft and the Mavericks getting the first pick, do they keep it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had the discussion earlier that perhaps they trade for Giannis with that number 1 pick. Now,
that
you
would be
said,
the only scenario, I think. But I don't think it's likely that'll happen.
Mhm.
So if you do get rid of somebody like Luka, who's that young, but now you get the first pick and you get a generational talent in Cooper Flag.
There's no guarantees with rookies.
There isn't.
You,
but
yeah,
I mean,
you know what a guarantee is?
They
Having
are-
a multi-MVP champion in Giannis coming to your roster.
Mhm.
Which
you
is
could have-
already built to win now.
This is a win-now team. Kyrie's not getting any younger. Anthony Davis may get fucking hurt again. And if he does, holy shit, now you have Giannis step up, and you got the best 4 in the league, potentially.
Debatable.
Potentially, that's what I said.
Potentially.
Come on,
yeah.
man.
You got 3 great players, but they're all getting.
I would get
old.
rid of this pick instantly for a player if I could get Giannis.
Of course.
That's a bold statement with Cooper Flag on the board.
He already got hurt in college. He's got who
Because
knows?
either way, I think Dallas is in a good position to win now and win later if you get Cooper Flag. I think Cooper Flag steps in from day one. I mean, just like a young Kobe, and can support those.
Holy shit!
white
Cooper
boy.
Flag is Kobe Bryant.
I'm saying a young Kobe who, right off the bat, yes, he won 5 rings, but the first, 1 or 2, he was supporting more Shaq than he was doing his thing,
He wasn't actually, but his first couple years in the league, he wasn't as great just yet. But you could tell he had that in him because he did make the All-NBA.
Exactly. And so this scenario, Cooper Flag would come in, and he would be that spark, that player you could count on. But the ball is still going to Kyrie and still going to AD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the NBA draft, there's such a high chance of them not working out. How many times have we seen guys go in the top 5 and none of them just become role players? I mean, you really have to bank on this guy being legit all the way through and through, no doubts, versus one of the best players in the league.
I mean, as touted as a prospect as he is, I mean, what do you think?
Honestly, I think Cooper Flag's going to be like that next generational talent in the league. That it is, especially going to a market like Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
where they do have a good team around them. There isn't really a reason to get rid of that pick. Like, yeah, like you said, you could get someone like Giannis, or if you could. But, I mean, if you're getting someone like Cooper Flag, and you can build around him, while also still having Anthony Davis when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Still got Kyrie Irving there, and yes, they're all getting old, but that's why you start to build around Cooper Flag. At that point, you figure out with the money eventually later on, and then maybe at that point, like I said, you just start building around him. And like Moose said, that sets you up for now to try to win and for the future. It's not guaranteed that they're going to go out there and win now regardless, I mean, yeah, with Giannis, you're always in the playoffs. But
He's not
they were
that
pretty
young.
much a playoff team just last year if Anthony Davis doesn't get hurt and Kyrie doesn't get hurt.
I mean, Giannis is entering his prime. He's not
He's 29.
He's not like 40-year-old guy,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He's 29.
He's got 5
he's 30.
years of being
He's
really
gonna be
good.
30
Okay, he's
this
30.
season, so-
Still got 5 years of being badass.
Yes, yeah, no, he's still got some time. But I think just you don't take that risk. I think Cooper Flag's ceiling is unbelievable,
Give me
and
a
I
player,
think I
Tom.
think his floor, his absolute floor, is still a good role player. With just the size of him, the length of his body, and the way he plays defense.
I don't think I want to draft a role player with the first pick.
You don't want to ever draft a role player with the first pick, and I'm not saying he will be a role player. More than likely, he won't be a role player. More than likely, he's going to be a superstar.
He's going to be Kobe Bryant.
Okay, so give me an NBA player right now in the league that's comparable to Cooper Flag, in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody else has one right now, go for it.
I want to say
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Hey, well, earlier you said Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a LeBron.
No, he's definitely not.
I don't think
LeBron.
he's a Luka.
No.
Not a
I think
Kobe.
he is more like a Paulo Banchero.
That's an interesting pick. I could.
Who has worked out. He actually is really good, too.
A lot better than Jalen Green. Am I right?
So much better.
Same draft. Was really hoping that Banchero would go to the Rockets, but
There was no way for that, though.
yeah.
No, that's probably it then. Alrighty. Any other offseason moves as far as Giannis? Is he going to get traded or stay in Milwaukee this year?
Hope he goes to the Warriors.
For what? What do they have to offer?
Yeah, what would the Warriors do there? What would that look like?
You know, you keep hearing the Warriors.
You throw out Kuminga and a first, and you hope for the best.
Kuminga at first? Good
You're
God.
not gonna get that. Can only hope.
Yeah.